All right guys, so here is what we're doing today. We're shooting the 22 Creedmoor and all the 80 grains, the 69 and the 65 grain, factory loads from Hornady. We've got ballistic gelatin here that we made at home, which is kind of a fun project. If you haven't done that, it's my first time. We've got these big trays here and we essentially cook these on a cooktop with the gelatin that we got from Walmart. Worked great. I was actually impressed at how well they set up. And today's a nice enough day. I don't have to worry about this stuff melting too fast. So we're gonna leave them in the trays. We watched some videos where a lot of times you gotta tie the ballistic gelatin down or it flies off the table. So we're gonna take the risk here, go ahead and sacrifice these trays. Assume it's like shooting through thin bone or maybe hide, and hopefully that keeps them on the table. So we're gonna back out to 100 yards. We've got our Horizon, Venatic rifle, and I believe it's a 22-inch barrel. We're gonna shoot on steel, make sure all those are pretty close at 100 yards, put dots on this and go right at it. We're gonna be filming in we're gonna be filming in 3 different cameras today. So one at the shooter, one here. We'll get that one moved around so we make sure we don't get any bullet splatter on that. And then we'll be filming through the trigger cam as well so you can see through the scope. So here we go. Okay, now I'm set. Make sure trigger cam is on. 80 grain ELD-X. Here we go. 80 grain X. You can see ripple that cam pretty good. Let's go down and look at that one. Okay, so let's see where I hit. Not sure yet, but what's interesting is it sounded a lot like hitting kind of a soft spot on a deer. So let's see how close we were. Oh, I think we were pretty darn accurate. And this is ridiculously cool. So, spot, shot, pretty dead nuts. Look at the wound cavity in that, and there is the projectile. The Sharpie marker. So we were about 1, 2 Sharpies and a lid worth of penetration. I'm gonna write ELD-X 80s on that. I have a feeling that this is going to be a new tradition in my household. So wicked cool. All right, so a little bit of pressure after that shot. We're just about maybe an 1/8 to a 1/4 low, which totally fine for what we're doing here. I'm gonna grab the 80 M's now, and we're gonna see what the M's do. This is pretty neat. So I encourage you, if you haven't done this before, ballistic gelatin on Walmart was probably around 80 bucks. Those pans were probably around 10 for a pack of like 6. So if you're trying to test out ballistics, it's kind of a fun project. I was able to do it with my son over the weekend. Kind of a neat experience to be able to make ballistic gel with him. I can't wait to show the results. Okay, so now ELD-MATCH. Pull that out there. Thing loaded up. All right, ELD-MATCH. These are the 80s, and make sure everything is filming. 80 grain match. Awesome. Snap the trigger just a little bit. I can tell that I'm left of where I wanted to be, but still I don't think it went to the first bucket. We're gonna go down there and check that out, switch out the buckets and move on to the 69s. Okay, this is the 80 grain M's. Let me turn it around and show you what you got. So, come on Derrick, pulling that shot. Now, this is about what I expected with the match grade. I should have turned it around, next time I'll know. But you get about the same wound channel. We've got some fragments over here with the match grade. But look, the distance about a Sharpie pen length difference. But this is kind of why we say, you know, a lot of times what we see on whitetail size game is the match grade or the X inside of say 300 yards. It's pretty much the same. That's pretty much what we see day in, day out on deer. But look at the wound channel one more time in the first, I'm gonna put down, look at the wound channel in the first hand length. So when you start thinking about hitting a coyote, look at the wound channel that you are giving as it first enters, and obviously still getting that penetration to get all the way through. So I'm gonna go ahead and mark this as 80 grain match, and then we're gonna switch these targets around and see 80 grain match. And now we'll flip the camera around, change the targets. We're gonna try the 69 VT, which honestly is the one that I'm really interested in. I haven't got a chance to do too much with it yet, but it is putting down coyotes really quick. So I expect that thing to explode in a short distance, but here we go. All right, now on to the last two tests. I'm going to go ahead and label these. You can really actually see that dot pretty good at 100. So I'm gonna say we're gonna shoot the 69 VTs next, and then we'll come back with a 65 CX, see what happens here. All right, so now we're going to move on to 69 grain VTs, so ELD-VTs. Kind of curious what these things do. I know they hammer coyotes. Got a speculation about what they're gonna do on this ballistics gel based on what we've seen on coyotes. But now, remember when we were testing this in, it shot a little bit higher and left. So I'm gonna aim just a little bit lower on this one, try and make sure we get it in that block. Man, that is just fun every single time. So really happy with where that shot went. Again, 69 grain VTs. So what was really interesting, I don't know if you could tell audibly, we're gonna go back and check, but the 69s made definitely a different sound than the 80s when they hit. It sounded like it exploded really quickly. So let's take a look at the 69 grain VTs. So first off, I want to say we did a really good job guessing where that projectile was going to go. Look at the explosion on the VT here. So you can see this big wound channel in about the same distance as a Sharpie marker, which, think about it, it's about the same distance you've got on a coyote or a fox. Obviously, still a little bit of penetration, but we have dumped so much energy right here at the front, which is what you want on that varmint bullet. Really neat thing stayed together. So what I'm gonna do, because I don't wanna mess up the CX, I'm thinking that the CX hopefully penetrates, you know, like a copper should. Now, we've shot the CX a lot at distance on steel, and it's been really interesting to see that bullet not hit quite as hard as I expected. So what I'm gonna do is I'm actually gonna spin this around, and we're gonna shoot the CX from the other direction, because I think it's gonna go full length, and I don't wanna mess up this wound channel. So here we go. Okay, so here we go. Final test of the day. These are the 65 grain CXs. What's really cool about these is just the velocity. You know, box speed's over 3,600, and I can't wait to see what these do. All right, here we go, 65 CX. Ooh, I can see ballistic gel almost pop out of the box on that one. Look at this. I'm gonna see if I can get this camera turned right for you. This is the CX. Look at the wound channel here as it enters, and you get crazy penetration all the way through out the other side. We did get an exit fully with the CXs, which is kind of what I expected, but you got little copper shards perfect. You can see how that's penetrating through the animal. Super, super neat. Again, one small little projectile that exited, but pretty neat. All right guys, that concludes our testing of the 22 Creedmoor factory ammo on Ballistic's gel. We're gonna take this back to the shop, take some measurements and some pictures and post those up so you can see the end results. Guys, be sure and like and subscribe. We really appreciate it. Send this over to a friend who's interested in the 22 Creedmoor, or some of your predator hunting friends are interested in which bullet selection they should make for their 22 Creedmoor before you head out on those big predator hunts, guys. We appreciate it as always. Until next time, we'll catch you later.